Hey there, Dietitian Teresa here, and I want to ask you a question. Are you doing all the right things, eating less, moving more, but your metabolism still feels slow? Whether you're in your 30s, your 20s, navigating peri-menopause, navigating post-menopause, and just feeling, well, like frustrated, this video is for you. So I want you to stick along because I'm going to be talking about how we can ditch the diet culture noise and talk about real science-backed information to help you support your metabolism through every phase of womanhood. And I do have my notes up here in today's video just so I do not forget anything or mention anything so that you get the most value out of this. But I really want to help the woman that may have done, crash diets in the past, chasing the quick fixes. And this is a space where there's no judgment, but it is something we can get stuck into that cycle, the yo-yo dieting, like I want to feel good and I want to feel good fast. Trust me, I hear you. I hear it almost every single day in my practice as a registered dietitian. But instead, I want to empower you as the listener and viewer to step into your strength, focusing on fueling your body and choosing that long-term vitality over a short-term result. My approach is built on 3 core values that I highly value. So sustainable strength, deep nourishment, so deep in-depth nourishment, and empowered health. So let's talk about what actually works to boost your metabolism, but for the long haul. All right, so I really just want to educate briefly on metabolism and give you a very simple definition. So metabolism is basically the sum of all processes your body uses to turn food into energy. It's what keeps you alive. So breathing, thinking, digesting, moving, and even sleeping. Think of it like your body's engine. It's always running, even at rest, even when you're sitting down watching Netflix at night. And it's not just about burning calories during workouts. Your metabolism is working 24/7. And there are some very common misconceptions when it comes to metabolism. It's not solely just your thyroid, your age, or your bad genes that cause this bad metabolism or a slow metabolism. But you can reverse it, like with the other misconception is you can support your metabolism even through menopause with the right inputs, like fuel, recovery, and focusing on building muscle. Now let's talk about how your metabolism shifts with hormonal changes throughout the lifespan. So with estrogen and progesterone, these begin to decline during your peri and post-menopausal stages of life. And this can affect your energy levels, your body composition, and how your body uses carbs and fats for fuel. This also can lead to some muscle loss or what is called sarcopenia. And with age and inactivity, you lose that lean muscle tissue you have in your body, which actually lowers your resting metabolic rate because muscle is more metabolically active than fat storage on your body. Then you can also see some insulin sensitivity. So insulin sensitivity often declines during menopause, meaning that your body just does not process carbs as it used to. It just is processing it differently, which can lead to more fat storage, especially around the midsection area. That's a very, very common thing I also hear in my practice is that, oh, the belly fat, I just can't get rid of it, or I don't know what happened. It just seemed like it just came on overnight or something. So those are some common things that women notice, like with their hormonal shifts throughout the lifespan and how that relates to metabolism with the hormonal aspect. But the key takeaway there is that your metabolism is not broken, you guys. It is adaptive. And with the right strategies, especially as hormones shift throughout your life cycle, you can train and fuel to work with you again in life. That's pretty awesome, if you ask me. Let's go into breaking it down by stages. And I'm gonna pop up the different stages we're going through as I talk about it so you have a little bit of a guidance here too. This is a very educational video, but basically what I wanna do is breaking down the challenges in certain life stages to build an understanding for you so you know what's happening in your body. It's not due to lack of willpower. It's not due to lack of discipline always. There are things that can naturally happen in our lifespan as a woman. So let's talk about first the pre-menopause stage, which is in your 30s to your early 40s. And this is what I like to call that silent slowdown. This is often overlooked because coming from your teens to your 20s, your hormones often seem stable. You may be the one watching this saying, yeah, I was doing fine, didn't really have to watch anything. I could work out like crazy, I could eat whatever I wanted all throughout my 20s, and I don't know what happened, 30 hit, and I'm like, okay, like that's game changer. But it's okay, guys, because we're gonna find out why. So oftentimes when you hit that stage, we go into, chronic yo-yo dieting. Like, things are changing in my body, I need to fix this. Like, we go into fix-it mode. And trust me, I understand. You want to feel good, you want to look good, you want to feel confident in your body. But those years of chronic dieting and tending, for the majority, over exercising, and this is putting a lot of stress on your system, that high stress can already be slowing down your metabolism. So although you may be seeing the results from the fad diet or the yo-yo diet that you have been on, you see the results, but you gain it all back. You see the results, but you gain it all back. You go keto, you cut out the carbs, you see the loss, but again, reality hits and you're like, wait, I can't live my life without carbs. And so this often trends into like a higher cortisol circulating in your system for a long period of time. Now, I want to say this with some caution of like, cortisol is not bad. We do need some level of cortisol in our system, that stress hormone, to help us get going in the morning. And we need that as like a good stress response. But when it is over the tipping point, overflowing, and always at this high capacity all the time, that's when we start seeing some metabolic changes. This could happen from busy lifestyles, which a lot of times is like the stress from just living life, and then finding time for yourself and self-care and like doing the workouts, like making sure you're nourished. But this can actually blunt your fat loss goals in a long period of time and actually contribute to fatigue or cravings throughout this period. Now, some early muscle loss can begin here if strength training and adequate protein intake are not in the picture. So we really need to be very cautious of that, in a sense of how you're fueling yourself in your 30s is going to impact you all the way down the line in your 40s and 50s. Now let's move into the peri-menopause phase, which is typically your mid 40s to your early 50s. And this is the roller coaster. Now strap in for this one. So estrogen and progesterone start fluctuating in that mid 40s to early 50s. And this can actually throw off mood, energy levels, and your body composition. Again, ladies, a lot of times is the belly fat gain, which is likely due to an increased cortisol response. And that can lead to more belly fat accumulating around your organs because your body's like, I am not getting enough fuel. I am stressed out to the max. You're also over exercising or trying to do a lot too much. And I just cannot keep up. I can't even get enough energy to keep my brain going. So you're hitting the brain fog, the like, you can't even answer a question because you're like, whoa. And so this leads to that more belly fat and stress related weight gain because we go into this like emotional roller coaster as well. Also, with this phase of life, insulin sensitivity can decrease. This means that blood sugar spikes more easily, which can actually fuel more cravings and more fat storage because the blood sugars are not getting into the cell like adequately. So it's not, your body's not utilizing that energy as it should. So it's using that energy to store because it's like, I need to save whatever I have coming in because I'm not getting enough. Speaking to fuel. And so this actually can contribute to, if we're stuck in this cycle, some muscle mass decline. If resistance training, strength training, and protein are neglected during this stage. And this also slows down our metabolic rate even further. Then we go into like the menopause, post-menopause, which is like your 50s plus. This is like you're trying to figure out how to live in your new normal. Your new normal. And this is where your estrogen levels drop significantly. And with it, muscle protective effects decline. So estrogen plays a huge role with the muscle's ability to like be a good quality muscle in your body. And when muscle loss accelerates, if strength training is not prioritized and your nutrition and fuel is not prioritized, this is actually key to your long-term metabolic health. Because when we let go of that lean muscle tissue, our body and our metabolic rate decreases. Because again, remember, muscle is metabolically active. So then your fat distribution shifts, so which is stored viscerally. Oh my gosh, I can't speak there. The fat is really stored in the visceral fat, so that's tissue around the organs, which belly fat area, so the belly area, which actually has a increased health risks that come with that and making weight management a little bit harder. And without fueling properly, some women may experience even more metabolic resistance in the long run if we're always trying to chase this more of exercise and energy expenditure and less of what are you actually consuming and fueling your body with nutrition. So it's okay, you guys, if you're getting to this point and you're like, well, Tracy, you just told me that, like, basically, I don't know what to do now. This is what I have in this video, and I wanted to bring some actionable tips that you could start thinking about for the benefit of you if you are finding that your past may have looked like that. And you guys, like, it's a no judgment zone here. This is just what is very common and typical and known in those phases of life. You hit your 30s, then you're like, okay, I gotta take control again, and then you're putting your metabolism in a worse place than it was in the beginning because you're always trying to chase like the body, like the smaller body, or like controlling the hormonal shifts rather than working with them. We tend to work against them. So you only knew what you knew if you went through that phase, and there's no blame on that. All you can do now is wherever you are at in your journey is just pick it up, accept it, think about what you did, what's your past, and say, okay, I'm gonna take this into my own hands, and I'm gonna start working with my body, with my nutrition, with my training, with my self-care, so that I can understand me better. We are biological beings that deserve the care and fuel and nourishment for the long term. So the actionable tips that I have here, and I wanted to keep these again like underneath my values. So kind of bringing those back to like really core values when I simplify my values, so like sustainable strength. So we're focusing on introducing some strength training 2 to 4 times per week. If you're a beginner, I would say start with twice a week. Twice a week, 2 full body, even if it's body weight workouts. You can look up on YouTube, 20-minute body weight, full body workout at home. Like, you could start there, twice per week. Build that habit. And then you're like, okay, I feel good. Like, I could do just 3. I could do 3. And this will actually help start to preserve and build lean muscle tissue when adequately fueled with the nourishment aspect, which I'll give you a tip here in a second. And then I want you, with that strength training, focusing on progressive overload. So this is not just focus on like, I'm just gonna do whatever willy-nilly workout that I want for the next 8 weeks. I want you to choose 1 to 2 workouts. If it's twice a week, do 2 full bodies, and I want you to focus on those. Do 2 and commit for 8 weeks and be like, okay, and each time, either progressive overload, like add some weight or slow down the movement, time under tension, increase the reps, and really maximize your growth by not changing the workouts week to week. You want to build muscle, so we have to be consistent and build on that. The next step here is into that like deep nourishment. And what I mean by this is eating enough. So especially starting with protein, because I see that being one of the largest macronutrients that we are often underfueling as women. And this is to not say everybody does this, but like with the protein aspect, if you're just starting and you've never like really even tracked your food or know what are you actually eating, I would highly encourage you with this nourishment aspect is to download the Chronometer app. It's just a tracking app that you can download and start tracking what you're currently eating, because we can't change what we don't measure. So I want you to go at that tracking with a light heart, a light mind, an adaptable mind. It's not that you're trying to judge yourself. You need to know what you're fueling yourself with. And you can actually use a TDEE calculator down below to calculate your total daily energy expenditure, which you'll know how many calories you should be consuming at maintenance for where you're currently at, and give that an idea. Because so if you're eating 1,000 to 1,200 calories, that is likely not even meeting your BMR, depending on who it is. It's always going to depend on who it is. But mostly 1,400, 1,500 can be somebody's BMR. That's just you laying there, not even blinking or doing anything. Like, you are just still laying in bed. You need more energy, ladies. You need more energy. So if you want to start with just focusing on protein, try to aim for 25 to 30 grams of protein per meal. And if you're having 3 meals, start there. If you're having 3 meals and a snack, do that same method and apply that. I also want you to include whole carbohydrates. Please, please, please do not disown the carbs, because the carbs are essential for protein synthesis. So if we want that protein to be working to build our muscle, we need the carbs too. And the carbs are actually gonna help combat everything going on. We don't need to get rid of them. We just need to have more strategic things. Your potatoes, sweet potatoes, you could do rice, you could do quinoa, you could do oats, fruit. Like, keep it simple. Keep it extremely simple, you guys. And then focusing on whole food sources of fats. So like avocados, you could do avocado oil, coconut oil. Just, you wanna keep those fats in there as well. And then I really want you to challenge your brain of like, if you're at a point where you've been eating this low of calories, let's say 1,000 to 1,200 calories, and you're seeing nothing moving for the past even 4 to 8 weeks, a couple months, maybe even longer, something needs to change. And I will really hype you up here that the underfueling is actually probably not getting you closer to your long-term goal of like longevity and helping you get to this strong, nourished self. You need more fuel. And sometimes it takes for us to just take a step back and not jump into a weight loss phase. It's just like, let's try to reverse some things, build our metabolism back up to where it feels safe. And now I want to finish off these 3 tips with empowered health. Okay, sorry, my camera died. And so as I was getting into the empowered health aspect, this is more about walking daily. So increase your NEAT, your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. This can be a very powerful tool because you're naturally slowly burning a little bit more and getting your body just moving in a flow state. If you can't walk, do about 20 minutes of aerobic activity, biking, you could do swimming, dancing, like whatever gets your body moving. Do about 20 minutes of that daily and see the change happen. Sleep is a very, very important thing. So aim for at least 7 to 9 hours. This all starts with a bedtime routine and making sure that you are in bed by a certain time and shutting things down and getting quality rest, because that is gonna reboot, repair your body for what it had endured the day before. The third thing is stress management. So practice breath work, practice journaling, get out in nature, do something for yourself to let your mind take a beat, take a breath, okay? And then reframing your mindset. So thinking about consistency, you're thinking about you're putting in the work. My approach is not like, hey, we're gonna do short-term fixes to expect long-term results. You are putting in the work now for you, for your future vision of yourself. You got this. And then I want to wrap up today's video of just really empowering you and saying that you are not broken. Your metabolism is not broken. Wherever you are at too. You are evolving. You are becoming. Your body deserves a plan that supports you now, but will also support you for years to come. You can feel strong. You can feel confident and energized at every stage of life. There is no accepting this is the way it is. You have the power in yourself, and you have resources from today's video and tips and tricks and knowledge that if you start today choosing nourishment, choosing strength, choosing self-respect, and over that restrictive mindset and choosing, I'm ready. I'm doing this now. You are going to see success. So I want you to give yourself 4 weeks to implement and really start focusing on track your protein intake, track your calories. Where are you at? Start getting moving more. Start, adding the strength training in. Even if it's once per week for a week or 2, then twice per week, then build your way up to 3. Don't need to do 5 or 6. 3 to 4 could be a very good sweet spot. But if you want a little challenge, I am doing a 14-day challenge like myself right now as I post this video. You can find that on my TikTok at Dietitian Teresa. I'll link it down below. But you can actually check out that 14-day challenge, and I have a beginner and an advanced version of just getting moving, just getting back to, I'm in a stage of focusing on becoming and evolving in my own health and fitness, and learning that, you know what? I just want to really do the mainstream, like the absolute basics of like what it is to take care of yourself, and really get really good at that and see what happens. And so far I'm loving it. I'm on day 3 right now as I'm recording this video. But again, check it out. It's posted on my TikTok, 14-day challenge, what I'm doing. You can find the directions down in the description of those videos that I post on TikTok, and see if that will work for you to kind of get you moving, get you like 14 days, just get going. Just get going. So really, I do appreciate this. I do appreciate you hopping on today's video. Sorry, I had to finish it off on my phone camera if the quality's different, but I really hope you found value. And I just want to empower you that you are not done. You are just beginning. You're just learning. You're growing. You're focused on what life is to come. What vision of you do you have in your mind that you want to step into and start embodying her? So thanks for watching again. Stay strong, stay nourished, and I will see you in the next video.